intro music is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice.
Live from Rockledge, Florida, from the offices of Move, about 10 miles south of Cocoa Beach. Welcome to the Ronald Farnham Show on Night Dreams Talk Radio Network. And now, the host of the Ronald Farnham Show, Ronald. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in tonight to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network on nightdreamstalkradio.com. Today is Sunday, March 10th, 2019. Or as we discussed on the show 2 weeks ago, it's more like 4,500,000,038, I think we're at. I'm going to have to check my Facebook page for my one-up count. So if you want to know the real date, just go to my Facebook page and we'll see what the date is. All right, now last show I promised you that Kenny Lee Lewis would be joining us tonight and that we would be discussing his book, Skeleton Dolls. However, I called Kenny Lee and I spoke to him this week, and he's on tour. So he's going to be traveling through some airports tonight, so happy travels, Kenny. And we decided that we would wait until he's settled in and ready for a cool paranormal and conspiracy conversation about his book. All right, let me just let you know a little bit about Kenny Lee Lewis now, and I definitely think he's going to be on in 2 weeks. He's a brilliant guitar player and bass player for the world-famous Steve Miller Band. He also does backup vocals. And sometimes, folks, when you're a rock star, it's kind of hard to schedule things a week out. But I think we will definitely have Kenny Lee on the next show. And this also gives me time to finish reading his book. I'm about 100 pages into his 473-page book, and it is a fascinating page-turner. And I got the book right here with me, and I just want to read the back of the book for you real quick so you can get a feel for what it's about. And then we will get into tonight's show. And I ordered this book on Amazon, so I'm going to read the back of it for you really quick. I think you're going to find it interesting. And on the back cover, there's like a bunch of alien faces. It's the gray alien type. And it above the paragraphs here on the back of the book, it says, Children of the Tower. And it reads, Identical twins Jennifer and Camille Johnson have spoken their own language, twin speak, some call it, since they were toddlers. But the secret of their mysterious incantations predates the flood, back to the Tower of Babel. After raising a childhood friend from death on national television, they face ridicule and fame from both their fans and their enemies. Reviled by the church as fallen angels, they pay the price when they resurrect the wrong man, an assassinated terrorist who was bent on revenge. The devastation and destruction that follows is almost more than they can bear. Pursued by Ray Watts, an investigator who is interested in them for more than their special powers, these lovely young ladies must go to the ends of earth to escape his obsession. Only by seeking the help of a most unlikely group of people can they find peace and perhaps discover their purpose among the people of Earth. All right, pretty fascinating, huh? And I'm, let's see, I'm on page 96 right now. And it's a book that moves really fast. In fact, some of the things that Kenny Lee mentions in this book are somewhat in line with several of the topics that I'm going to discuss on my show over time. In fact, there's a lot of things to discuss here, and I'm going to touch on one of those tonight. After all, this show is about the paranormal and conspiracies. But before we get into the meat of the show, I want to give my thanks out to my sponsor, Move. That's right, Move. And Move is spelled M-U-V. I'm broadcasting from their 6,000 square foot facility here in Rockledge, Florida. And let me tell you what Move is. And you can check out their website, movenow.com. That's movenow.com, MUVNOW.com. And Move is a household goods moving company that has the cool slogan, "When life takes you places, we'll bring your stuff." So, if you are in Florida and you have to move your household goods or your business, go to movenow.com and get a quick, hassle-free quote and get moving. Okay, so I want to get into a little bit about what Kenny Lee Lewis mentions in his book Skeleton Dolls, about how the twins raise a terrorist from the dead. I want to discuss terrorists and the conspiracy of terrorists and where we stand right now as a world regarding the war on terror. Now, the war on terror is really kind of winding down right now, and it is, whether you realize this or not, the war on terror is World War III. And whether you believe it or not, all three world wars are a conspiracy and paranormal. Now, let's discuss why and what their purpose was. You see, part of the reason for my show is to offer a solution. But in order to know what the solution is, you must first understand what the problem is, or problems. There are several. And over time on this show, I will be laying out the problems and their solutions. Actionable solutions. Meaning actions that we, all of us living souls, can take in order to realize the solutions to end war, poverty, suffering, and possibly even death. Now, I'm very serious when I say that ultimately the solutions can result in the end of war and poverty in this earth domain. And when I say earth domain, I say that because we are on earth, but we do not know the nature of our reality. At least we do not have proof of the nature of this reality. Are we in base reality? Are we in a simulation? Is the earth a spinning sphere? Or is it a flat, infinite, and motionless plane? I mean, after all, it is called a planet or planet. It's plane, P-L-A-N-E, with a T at the end. What does that tell you? Remember, truth is hidden in plain sight. So what does the war on terror have to do with any of this? Well, what if I told you that World War I, World War II, and now World War III were all pre-planned? That's right, pre-planned, with the ultimate intention of bringing about the order of the New World, or the New World Order. You see, everything is a conspiracy. The JFK assassination, the Twin Towers, the Boston Marathon bombing, the Vietnam War, the assassination of Martin Luther King, John Lennon, Robert Kennedy, all conspiracies. Everything is a conspiracy. It's just a simple matter of who conspired. For instance, the attack on the Twin Towers that happened September 11th, 2001, was a conspiracy. But who conspired? Was it the son of a business partners of the Bush family who was known as Osama bin Laden? Or was it the Bush family and Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and the highest levels of military intelligence? Let's compare Osama bin Laden and what he allegedly did. Let's look at the cover story. The cover story is that Osama bin Laden was working out of a cave while battling severe health problems. Now, in my mind, that's like saying that Eric Trump, living in a tent in the woods while battling severe illness, could orchestrate the destruction of, let's say, the Eiffel Tower. Think about that comparison. It's relatively the same. In fact, I read intelligence reporting from the Twin Towers attack that read that there were more than 30 targets that day. That's right. More than 30 targets were supposed to be hit on 9/11. So that's like saying a sick and dying Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son, lying in a tent in the woods somewhere, could orchestrate an attack on 30 major targets across a large continent. Now, this would only be possible if he was operating from a secure facility with encrypted communications, a large network of people, and a highly sophisticated set of cover words in order to keep surveillance from picking up on what's going on. To me, and I don't know about you, but to me it sounds pretty far-fetched that Osama bin Laden could have accomplished what he did all by himself in that situation. Now, I want to see what you think after I read you the following letter that Albert Pike wrote to Mazzini. And who was Albert Pike? He was the first reporter for the Arkansas Supreme Court. He wrote a book titled The Arkansas Form Book, which was a guidebook for lawyers. Pike began to study law and was admitted to the bar in 1837. That's right, 1837. And now, Pike was commissioned as a brigadier general on November 26th, 1861. And he was given a command in the Indian Territory with General Ben McCullough. Pike trained 3 Confederate regiments of Indian cavalry, most of whom belonged to, quote-unquote, the civilized tribes, whose loyalty to the Confederacy was variable. Although initially victorious at the Battle of Pea Ridge in March 1862, Pike's unit was defeated later in a counterattack after